Welcome to the Old Coins Explorer, the ultimate treasure hunt. Here we are exploring the hidden secrets about old and rare coins. Hey, so, have you ever looked at a coin and thought, yeah, just another 20 cents? Well, let me stop you right there. Because if that coin happens to be the 1982 Australian 20-cent piece, you're actually holding on to something pretty cool, and maybe even a little bit special. Yeah, I know it's easy to overlook coins like these. They're in our change. They rattle around in drawers. They roll under car seats. But this one, it's got a story. A seriously underrated one. Now imagine this. You're at your local shop. You hand over a note, and the cashier gives you a handful of change. Most people wouldn't even glance at it. But you spot that shiny or maybe slightly dull 20-cent coin dated 1982, and you pause. Because after this video, you're going to know something most people don't. That coin isn't just metal. It's a slice of Aussie history, wrapped in copper and nickel, with a whole lot more value than just 20 cents. Not always in cash value, though sometimes that too, but in culture, design, and the small quirks that make collectors go nuts. Let's kick things off with the basics, because that's where the beauty of this coin really begins. The 1982 20-cent coin is part of Australia's decimal coinage system. If you didn't know, Australia switched from pounds, shillings, and pence to dollars and cents in 1966. That shift was huge. It changed how the entire country viewed money. And among those new coins was a 20-cent piece, which featured one of the most iconic creatures in the country, the platypus. Seriously, how often do you get to see a platypus on your money? Not every country puts an egg-laying, duck-billed, beaver-tailed, semi-aquatic mammal on their currency. But Australia? We embrace the weird and wonderful, and we put it right on our coins. And in 1982, this design was in full swing. Created by Stuart Devlin, the same guy who was the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen, it was sleek, modern, and honestly kind of majestic. That swirling water design around the platypus? That wasn't random. That was artistry. On the obverse side, we got the image of Queen Elizabeth II, classic and dignified. The 1982 version of the coin uses a portrait by Arnold Mackin, which had been in use since 1966. It's calm, composed, and absolutely a product of its time. That combination of the Queen's portrait on one side and the wild, unpredictable platypus on the other, that's peak Aussie coin design. Royal heritage meets wild outback. But here's where things get more interesting. In 1982, over 49 million of these coins were minted. That sounds like a lot, right? And you might be thinking, well, if there are so many of them, what makes this coin special? Good question. Here's the twist. Even though the mintage was high, not all coins are created equal. Some of these coins survived the decades in great condition. Others didn't. Some made it into collector sets. Some were kept in piggy banks, and some, believe it or not, have errors that make them way more valuable than just pocket change. And let's talk about those errors, because collectors live for this stuff. Sometimes a coin gets struck off-center, or maybe there's a die crack, or a cud, a raised lump from a damaged die. These little mistakes can make a huge difference. Imagine picking up a coin that looks just a little off, and realize it could be worth $100, $200, or even more to the right buyer. Not every 1982 20-cent coin has errors, but the few that do, they're collector gold. Oh, and here's a fun fact. There were no proof 20-cent coins released to the public in 1982. So, if you come across one that looks nearly perfect, like it just rolled out mint, that could be from a special collector's set, and that bumps up its value, especially if it's graded professionally. Now, let's get into the feel of the coin. If you've ever held one, you know it's got weight to it. It's 11.31 grams, and that's heavier than a lot of coins in your wallet. It's also got the smooth yet milled edge, and at 28.52 millimeters in diameter. It's one of the bigger coins in general circulation. That weight and size give a real presence. You feel like you're holding something that matters, something with substance. And honestly, coins like this can become little time machines. Think about it. This coin has been around since 1982. That's more than 40 years ago. How many hands has it passed through? How many vending machines has it jammed? How many school lunches, parking meters, or train rides did it pay for? It's wild to think about. Every scratch, every little mark on the surface, that's a story. That's part of its journey. For collectors, there's something really special about hunting down coins from specific years. And the 1982 coin, while not the rarest, has just enough intrigue to make it a must-have, especially if you're building a complete collection of Australian 20-cent coins. It's one of those coins that completes a set, but also stands strong on its own. So what about the value? You're probably wondering, can I sell this coin for hundreds of dollars? Well, in most cases, circulated coins without errors or special qualities are worth, well, around 20 cents. Maybe $1 or $2 if they're in really good shape. But, and this is important, if you got one in uncirculated condition, or better yet, a coin with a minting error, now we're talking. Those can go for $20, $50, even $100 or more, depending on the type of error and the condition. That's not bad for something you might find in a jar of old change. And just imagine this. You're at a garage sale, flipping through a random box of old stuff, and you spot a handful of coins. Most people pass them up, but you know better. You pull out a 1982 20-cent coin, give it a glance, and boom,